Okay, hello everybody. This is going to be a short video just going over how to install jGRASP onto a Windows machine and how to develop essentially our first program on our own machines. That way you can do this at home easily without needing to use the computer labs at school. So the first thing I want to bring a little bit of attention to this diagram first so you understand the process. What we're doing in this class is we're typing Java source code, and then we're actually sending it to the Java compiler that will compile this into something called bytecode. It's a .class file. We'll see what that looks like here in a moment. And then this is actually what the Java virtual machine can understand and then run the program. The virtual machine can't understand the source code itself. It needs to be changed into a language that is easier for it to understand. Excuse me. So if we get onto our Windows machine here, I have 3 links here that will be in the description. The first one is for Java itself, right here. So we go ahead and click download, and this will allow us to actually run Java programs on our computer. So if we didn't actually want to code anything, we just say a friend of ours, or there's a Java program online that we wanted to run. This is the only part we would need to download here. And so we download, we successfully installed. There's nothing you really need to worry about. Just click next to the installer, it'll do everything for you. Then we go over to this website from Oracle. This gives us the Java Development Kit, or JDK for short. This is what's going to actually allow us to develop our own Java programs. So these are 2 separate Java downloads we need to be able to develop Java programs. Windows, for this case, of course if you're on Mac, go to Mac. Linux, go on Linux. Just get the x64 installer is fine. It's the easiest. And so we get the GDK, we'll run it, and this will work just like the other installer did. We can just click next. This is just telling us where it's going to install it at. That's fine. Okay, awesome. If you click next steps here, it'll bring you to the API documentation for the Java Development Kit. For now, you don't really need to worry about it, but it's something you should know exists. We click next steps. Just a bunch of information on the Java Development Kit. And so finally we're going to install our IDE, but before we do that, I want to make the note that we don't actually even have to install an IDE. Excuse me again. With these 2 downloads right here is enough. If we wanted to, we could just use the default notepad that comes with our computer. If we wanted to rename this hello world.java, and then again edit a notepad, and we say public class hello world, public static void main. So this is just the program we would have seen on Monday. Just prints hello world into the console. It's kind of like every programmer's first program essentially is just hello world. So yeah, the important part here, one of the important parts is this. The name, what we choose for the name of our class, in this case hello world, has to also be the name of the file. And so if we save, we can actually just go to open in terminal. We can go Java C hello world.java. and then that will compile the Java program into bytecode here. Java C in this case stands for compile. If we take a look at what this looks like, it's pretty unintelligible. We can't really read this and get any understanding of what's going on. But the Java virtual machine itself can understand this and run this. So that's what the bytecode looks like. And then after we compile it, we could just go Java hello world, and our program will run. Let's see, let's say hello world to the console. But an IDE, in this case jGRASP, a lot of people like Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ, those are fine as well. Just will make it easier for us to develop programs by, first of all, doing this for us. It will compile and run with a nice GUI interface, and as you get more advanced, it does a lot more things for you as well. If you have a complicated program, often they come with debuggers, which can be nice. That basically step through your program as it's running instead of running it all at once. You get to see and pause it wherever you want to pause it, so you can see what's going on in your program. Nothing to really be too concerned about right now, but I just wanted to get the point across that you don't really need an integrated development environment. It just kind of makes it easier for us. So we're going to go to the jGRASP page and go ahead and download jgrasp.exe for Windows. And again, next, that's fine. This is fine as well. Don't worry about that. And we will install that. Next page was fine as well. You can just click next throughout all of it. And you will see jGRASP shows up on our desktop here. So we're going to double click to run it. If it doesn't show up on your desktop, go to the search bar and type in jGRASP and you should see it. So then to create our program in here, we will go to File, New, Java. And let's go ahead and create the same program. Public class hello world. These curly braces signify like the beginning and end of the class or the function or the section of code that we're creating. Public static void main. This just defines what's called the main function, which is a special type of function that tells the program this is where the program starts. It tells the virtual machine knows, look for this main and start the program directly under that, and everything that's within these two braces. For example, if I put system.out.println hello world here, this wouldn't end up getting ran. It might even throw an error. It'll probably even throw an error because it needs to be within these curly braces. So we won't do that. We'll put it between the curly braces, and we can. Oh, I forgot we got a file save as, and this is an important part here. By default, I believe for most people, it's saving into your documents folder, which is just fine. Again, make sure when we're naming our file, it's hello world.java, same as our class name. There we go. And jGRASP has these buttons up here that will compile it for us. Boom. And you can even see here it says jGRASP exec java c -g hello world.java. Very similar to what I did in the terminal. All this button is doing is just typing that to the terminal for you, essentially. And then we can find and run, and you see our program runs, says hello world. Awesome, just like we expected. Now one thing I want to show you is if you don't have these line numbers here on the left, go to view and check here line numbers. You see if I turn it off, this is what it looks like. This becomes important because if we have an error in our program, for example, if I forget this semicolon at the end and then I compile, I get an error here. This is our error message, and it might be self-explanatory, it might not be, you might get a little scared looking at this, but hello world.java, so that's just pointing us to the file. It's saying the error is in this file. Semicolon 3 means it's on line 3, so we can see our line numbers 3. This is where our error is, and it says it expects a semicolon. So you could easily notice, oh, we forgot a semicolon here. When you get programs that are much more lines, this becomes very important that you can see your line numbers. So when you're reading your errors, you can quickly look up and be like, oh, line 3, that's where my error was. So I think that's it for this video. I hope that's helpful to people who are still trying to get started with jGRASP and developing with Java.